Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Arma 3 video. It's no secret that mods and the modding community have been the lifeblood of Arma 3 these last few years, while Bohemia has been busy building the Infusion engine. In this video I'm going to cover some of what I believe are the most beautiful mods out there currently available on the workshop. We all want that cool factor when playing, and these mods are definitely some that fit that bill, so let's get right into it. At number 15 is MICH 2000-2001 Base Pack by my dude. Easily some of the best MICH 2000 era helmets on the workshop, these gorgeously textured equipment pieces are perfect for any operation set in the early to mid 2000s if you're wanting to keep era specific gear on your loadouts. Personally, I enjoy the strip IR tape and how the light bounces off of them. It adds an amazing touch of realism. There are an absolute fuck ton of helmets to choose from, with varying designs, camo schemes, and additional equipment like comm gear and goggles. These helmets may have been phased out over time by the US military as newer designs came online, but they still see action throughout the world in other militaries. At number 14, we've got a personal favorite of mine, and that is Island Panthera by Icebreaker. Chances are you've either seen or played on this map at some point if you've been looking for some of the best modded maps, and to me this map is one of Icebreaker's best. Flying over the towns and hamlets while weaving in between the gorgeous mountains never gets old to me, and occasionally when I want to hop into Arma 3 and relax, I'll load up this map and go for a free flight around Panthera. There's 5 air bases to bounce around to, all of which lead to new areas and vistas. Even though this map has been around a few years, I can't help but be drawn to its alluring beauty. Maybe after going on your own joyride around the map you'll feel the same way. Are there any maps out there you enjoy just cruising around in? Let me know in the comments. At number 13 is Cold War Rearmed 3 by Cold War Rearmed 3 mod team. Now, this mod utilizes primarily cup assets, so in effect this can be also considered a cup entry. However, the aesthetic of the late 1980s that Cold War Rearmed 3 takes place in is beautiful. The gear and vehicle liveries all match perfectly, and coupled with the campaigns really gives a gorgeous rendition of what Operation Flashpoint would have looked like if made in Arma 3. I may be looking at this one through rose-tinted glasses and dipping into my nostalgic past with my origins in Operation Flashpoint, but I just can't help it, honestly. The infantry gear looks especially good and helps immerse you in the 1980s setting without any effort at all. Of all the total conversion mods to branch from cup, this is definitely my favorite out there. At number 12, we got the king of asset design, and that is Red Hammer Studios. Truly, these guys are and have always been a powerhouse of mod making. RHS has been making assets for Arma since the first game in 2002 and have done nothing but deliver gorgeously crafted assets time and time again. To me, RHS is about as close as you'll get to assets delivered by Bohemia Interactive when it comes to fidelity. Everything from the huge quantity of infantry gear to incredibly detailed tanks and armored fighting vehicles and even some gorgeously created helicopters, RHS has continuously delivered the most beautiful assets you can download en masse. I am truly eager to see what incredible mods they'll drop for Arma Reforger using the Infusion engine. At number 11 is technically 2 entries because damn it, I love them so much. IAF F-16 Barak by XRAM and Warhawk F-16 by OV1 Kenobi. These 2 beautiful mods are liveries for the same aircraft, and if you've not guessed it by now, I simp pretty hard for the Viper, so it goes without saying that mod makers that create beautiful liveries for my favorite jet not only have a place in my heart, but I'll probably kiss them both directly on the mouth if I ever meet them. You guys have been warned. Both of these Vipers are beautifully textured and worn, which adds a level of beauty that perfectly pristine looking aircraft don't have in my honest opinion. Our maintainers do an excellent job keeping these warhorses in fighting shape after 40 years of service, but weathering and wear and tear still happen. To me, a worn jet is a jet that has done its service faithfully and continues to scream across the skies. At number 10, we've got Arma Mod France by the Arma Mod France team. Pouring in some of the most beautifully textured French arms and equipment is the amazing Arma Mod France team. Not only are the ground vehicles and weapons gorgeous, but they've got one of my favorite European fighters ever developed, the Rafale. This jet has a lot of haters, but whatever. I mean, just look at how curvy and delicious she is. She's the kind of girl that would just as happily sit on your face as she would split the dinner bill with you, and I'll tell you right now that that's a keeper, boys. Tons of other beautiful assets accompany this mod, including the Leclerc main battle tank, the AMX-10 mobile gun system, and the Mirage 2000 in all its single-engine glory. The Mirage is another fan favorite that has aged like fine wine over the years. The level of detail in all of these assets is excellent, and definitely one of the prettiest mods out there. At number 9 is S&S New Wave by Brian Hates Games, Gigarat, and First Lieutenant C. Henderson. S&S has been known for delivering some of the prettiest, yet period-accurate uniforms available anywhere in the workshop. These guys specialize in the late 70s and early 80s infantry gear, and it's truly beautiful work. Mods that narrow their focus down to a certain aspect of equipment tend to have some of the most refined results, and S&S is no exception to this rule. A lot of screenshot creators use this mod when making anything set in the 80s, and looking at these assets, you can clearly see why. At number 8, we've got NIArms by Still Trans Rights. Hands down, the most gorgeously rendered weapon pack available anywhere. NIArms is chock full of some of the most popular armaments known to man. The models and textures look incredible, the recoil and accuracy is fantastic, and the reload animations are sublime. Though this mod is sizable if you download the all-in-one pack, which I highly recommend if you have the space, what you get in return for your download is some of the most gorgeous weapons available in Arma 3. There's everything from the AR-15 family of weapons, to MP5s, the AK assault rifle family, to other well-known weapons of war like the FN FAL. There's truly something for everyone in NIArms. At number 7 is the BWMod by BWMod team. Truly one of the more unique and focused mods of the list, BWMod offers some of the most gorgeous German vehicles, aircraft, and equipment available anywhere. These textures are eye-wateringly gorgeous, and many of the assets are unique to this mod. You won't find a Leopard 2 this beautiful or a Tiger helicopter this robust anywhere else on the workshop. Even the support vehicles and equipment got a lot of love, so you know every aspect of this mod was combed through with a level of detail worth your download. The Tiger helicopter and Leopard 2 are a couple of my favorites from this mod, but their self-propelled artillery is another gorgeous standout and one that sets this mod apart from the rest. BWMod is an absolute treasure trove of beautiful assets, so if German equipment is your style, then grab this mod and give their comment section some love in the workshop. At number 6 is the revered USAF Mod by Staff Sergeant Fuller and the USAF Mod team. The USAF Mod team has fluctuated over the years with incredible artists coming and going, but while they've gone through their own internal changes, the mod itself continues to shine through to the top of the mod list when it comes to aircraft specific mods. The detail and texture work on each aircraft is beautiful and helps cement this mod at the forefront of everyone's mind when they think of modded Arma 3 aircraft. The F-22 and F-35 are the standout fighters, while the A-10 continues to reign its terror in the skies hunting Russian armor. The C-130 comes with the transport and gunship variants, with the AC-130U being its own standalone mod that had the workshop waiting with bated breath. The C-17 is my personal favorite of the larger aircraft. I mean, just look at her. Thick and heavy, capable of delivering main battle tanks over an AOR and completely replenishing a forward operating base with supplies when needed. The KC-135 gives you the ability to refuel aircraft midair and extend their combat radius during operations, which is one of the more challenging things to accomplish in multiplayer considering how the desync likes to act, but it's a blast when you can get it right. Finally, the MQ-4 Global Hawk and the MQ-9 Reaper drones make a comeback appearance from the Legacy version, offering enhanced ISR capabilities that their real-life counterparts provide to ground force commanders. At number 5, we've got one of my absolute favorites, which is MO Pilot Gear Suite by 556 MO. Truly the highest fidelity aircrew flight equipment available to download. All of these assets are meticulously researched, designed, and textured by Mo himself, and offers an absolute shit ton of both US Air Force and US Navy helmets and flight suits, as well as some Brazilian variants. Mo states he's not a professional 3D artist or modeler and that all of his work on this mod is for a hobby, but this is hands down some of the sexiest gear you can download for just being a hobby. Imagine if he was doing this full time. and I truly hope he plans on making flight equipment for Arma 4. At number 4 is the venerable AH-64D Longbow Apache official project by Voodoo Flies et al. Though this mod got its beginnings in Arma 2, this is still one of the prettiest aircraft I've ever seen in game. In the right lighting, you can barely tell it's a mod. It looks damn gorgeous. I can sit and watch the Apache do its work for hours upon hours and never get bored. It's seriously one of the baddest flying machines man has ever created. I mean, just look at how mean this sumbitch is. This mod has actual Apache pilots behind the scenes helping advise on avionics and ensuring that this is one of the highest fidelity mods on the workshop. The footage you're watching right now is actually of Fred, who was a Utah National Guard Apache pilot who I had the pleasure of flying with in Arma 3 last year. New skins and avionics upgrades continue to hit the workshop, so grab this mod, watch the tutorials that Voodoo Flies has created on getting the aircraft operational, and have a blast. At number 3, we've got the Dassault Falcon 7X uploaded by Skirix. Now, this mod is obviously a rip from another flight simulator, but hey, it's gorgeous and I'm gonna let it slide because just look at the sheen on that sucker. She is beautiful to watch in game and even more so to fly. The civilian air aspect of Arma 3 didn't get a whole lot of love, and I'm glad the modding community has stepped in to provide mods like this and other huge packs that include civilian aircraft. This is a perfect fit for those private servers that focus more on the roleplay aspect instead of just constant carnage. At number 2 is one of the most ambitious and anticipated faction mods out there, and that is Project Royal Army Corps of Sahrani mod, or PRAX for short. While it is named after only one of the sides, PRAX comes with both the Royal Army Corps of Sahrani and the SLA, or the Sahrani Liberation Army, both of which were OPFOR and independent forces in Armed Assault 1. Both sides get a ton of love from literally all aspects of gameplay, from infantry combat to armored fighting vehicles to main battle tanks to rotary winged and fixed wing aircraft and so much more. It's truly insane the amount of detail and years of development that have gone into this mod. PRAX will allow for an absolute fuck ton of mission variety and role playing set in the original Armed Assault timeline. I've had my hands on this mod for going on about a year now. I still don't think I've found everything there is available for PRAX. This mod is a true labor of love developed over the course of the last decade. The assets are beautiful, and just knowing how much attention to detail and love has been poured into this mod and its world building aspects puts this one high in my list of favorite mods ever developed. Every single branch of the armed forces is fleshed out as much as possible to give mission makers the ability to create with as much freedom and variety as possible. This is almost a game within itself, and definitely one of those mods that you can download without any other mods installed and have tens if not hundreds of hours of fun by itself. The developers are a phenomenal group of guys and have poured tens of thousands of hours into the creation of this wonderful mod. I plan on releasing a full breakdown of this mod whenever it launches to cover all the incredible effort that went into creating this masterpiece of a faction mod. And finally, at number 1 is without a doubt the most beautiful terrain ever uploaded to the workshop, Vidda by Bloodclot. Every time I load this map up, I'm in awe of just what was accomplished within the Real Virtuality engine and the Arma 3 toolset. It's easy to see why Blood was hired by Bohemian Interactive. I mean, the dude spits out perfection with his terrains. I'm constantly amazed by the attention to detail in the most unlikely of places. To me, that is exactly what makes Arma 3 one of the best experiences modern gaming has to offer. The mundane detail that your brain knows should be there, and even though it doesn't always acknowledge its presence, it's the first thing your brain notices when it's gone. The clouds being closer to the ground make Vidda feel super immersive and adds an extra layer of flair. The wet streets and pavement helps ground the map in the wet and cold Northern European environment and truly looks like some terrain building wizardry. There's a ton of handcrafted towns, industrial zones, and hamlets that dot the map, so you're never in a truly barren area unless on a mountaintop. And finally, the capstone landmark, which is the incredible airbase. I don't think I've seen a prettier or more realistic looking airbase anywhere on any terrain. I dare say this one is perfect, and it is always a pleasure to taxi, take off, and land at. Blood is continuing his incredible work in the new Arma Reforger, and that is great news for everyone. Well guys, that's all I have for this video, and I hope you found a new mod or terrain to grab and enjoy. There is truly a ton of beauty within the Arma 3 modding community, and a lot of that is being carried forward into Arma Reforger, which is really exciting. Arma 3 still has a lot of life left in it, and we have the modding community to thank for that. I'd like to say a humble thank you to my patrons whose dicks actually drag behind them as they walk. Take it from me, that is a huge pain to have to deal with. If you're interested in a life of monster-sized testicles, consider joining my Patreon, which is linked in this video description. And finally, as always, I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. We have come a long way together, having just recently surpassed 28,000 subscribers. There's a lot of you out there, and I do my best to engage with you guys in the comments as much as I can. After the launch of Reforger and knowing Arma 4 is actually on the horizon, I feel reinvigorated and ready for the future of this incredible franchise. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.